All right. All right, so this is the Patreon only. I'm hoping I did it right this time. It should be unlisted, which means if you're watching this back after we are done, you got to give me a few minutes to get this set up and get the link out there. So it's going to be a few minutes before we get started. And I'm going to erase this beginning when I get to it. So if you still see this up and if you watched it a little bit after it when it's done, YouTube didn't process it yet. I get a lot of people saying that, like, oh, Ronnie, you can delete the beginning. And it's like, I am. YouTube takes hours to process it, though. One time it took a whole day to process the edit out of the thing. So here we go. And I posted the link. So we're going to get started. I think there was people that wanted to talk about Game of Thrones as well as Walking Dead. Game of Thrones, though, I was doing a lot of shipping and stuff for my comic, and I decided to watch Game of Thrones over again. Well, originally I decided to just start it over again in season 1, and I tell you what, if you don't read the book Game of Thrones and you just watch the show, maybe you don't know like the whole history and all the characters, like you know, I don't know, maybe you don't have a strong understanding of the world and the environment. Watch it over again, rewatch it, because I watched season 1 over again just recently after staying up with the whole series, and I loved it. Oh my god, I loved it. I loved it even more than when I watched it the first time, because you know the characters, the world, the backstory, you know so much more of everything, so it's easier to understand it. So, I mean, I had a blast. I had so much fun revisiting Game of Thrones. I watched season 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to where we're at now in the current season. I didn't rewatch the current season over again just because it's real fresh, and I watched all the episodes twice when they aired. So, all right, let me go back over to, I think we got a couple people waiting to get in the chat. Yeah, all right, so we don't have anyone in yet. So a couple more minutes. What else do I want to talk about before we get started? Yeah, so the Game of Thrones, I highly, highly, highly recommend going and checking it out after you watched it. Or, I mean, you know what I mean, rewatch seasons 1, 2, and 3, and yada, yada, yada. I'm trying to fill the last of these. What I'm doing is I'm putting the prints, I'm putting them in these plastic photo document sleeves to keep them fresh. That way in shipment they don't get scratched up. Plus, if you don't want to put it in a frame, you can just keep this plastic sleeve on it and just hang it up or something, you know. You don't have to run right out to get something for it. These are for the Doomsday Kingdom stuff. What else was going on? There's like nothing in Walking Dead news that's going on. I mean, there's some stuff, but it's so small and petty. It's just like nothing is going on. It is like a topic drought happening right now. I mean, we could talk about all the old topics from the comic, but the only thing is we've done so many Q&As and we've done so many topic discussion videos on this channel about, you know, All Out War before we even got to All Out War. So now that we're in All Out War, a lot of the topics, my opinions are still the same. So I could do the videos, but my opinions are pretty much still the same as far as how I view what they should do in All Out War. Maybe the characters are a little bit different, since some of the minor characters are dead that I thought would be alive. Like I thought, I could have sworn I thought Denise would make it. Did I? Yeah, I thought she would have made it. So small stuff like that, but other than that, like I thought Abraham should have made it. So other than that small stuff, my opinion's still the same. So it's not going to be like, you know, make a video and talk about The Walking Dead and it's going to be completely different. It's going to be the same stuff. There's also new structure coming to the channel. Let me see. Alright, I might have done something wrong here. Let me check. Juliet, did you take my phone? Honey, it's almost dead. Okay. No. Instagram. What else was there? Oh yeah, so the new structure with everything, since we have to make some changes because of the YouTube ad boycott, I started putting together some of those ideas I had for videos that take a little bit longer. They're more time consuming. However, like, that's what I'm real passionate about, some of those videos. So I think we're gonna move away a little bit from doing daily discussion videos, and then we'll just do you know, if we can, and when we get back on track, we'll try to do 2 or 3 during the week. When The Walking Dead returns, obviously we'll do the reviews, but as far as throughout the day, throughout the weeks, I mean, we're going to be doing more of the time consuming. So we might get like one of those epic videos, like in depth, real good editing, a lot of stuff went into the video. We might be getting one of those a week, or two of those a week, just for the foreseeable future, until either YouTube gets fixed or we just get in a set pattern where we're able to do that, because those are the videos that really help out with the channel. And not only are they incredibly fun to make, but they're the ones that really help, because people aren't going back and watching the old Walking Dead reviews. Like, no one cares, and I don't expect them to. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Okay, it worked for Mark, so he made it. Yeah, so I don't expect people to watch the old. Hold on, this is gonna be loud. Yeah, I don't expect people to watch the old stuff. How many comics did we sell? I don't know the total number. I tell you right now, we're looking at around 1,000. I think we're not at 1,000 yet. By the time we restock, we will sell around 1,000, which is difficult because we're getting, you know, and this is kind of frustrating because that's amazing for an independent. I mean, that is amazing. But I've like, people ask, and I'll be straight up honest with people about it. And there's some people who will be like, "Oh, well, you sold 1,000. Give us free comics because you're obviously rolling in dough." And it's like, bro, do you understand? We're not making anything from comic only sales. Like, I'll be legit open and honest with people. Comic only, to everyone, and that's the majority of our sales. We don't make a dime. We don't see a dime. There's some of them where we might actually pay out of pocket like 4 or 5 cents, and that's because of the everything going involved. Because when you buy the comic, it's like, what, $3 just for the comic to get printed. That doesn't include the shipping and handling. We still have to pay a few $100 shipping and handling from the printer, which gets put into the price, which maybe it's like 20 cents per comic. If you get a lot of them, that's only like 5 cents per comic you're paying. But that's adding, you know. So now it's like, okay, your comic costs $3 to make, you're selling it for $4, you're gonna make $1. However, the taxes included that we have to pay, that's included in the $4, so that comes out of it. The shipping from the printer, that comes out of it. The bag and boards, which is like 10 cents for both, so that's 20 cents. Now you're really chipping away at that dollar profit. So next thing you know, with the I think it's like a 25-cent cardboard stiffener, so your mailman don't bend it. The chipboards that your comic's going to be inside, just to give it added security inside the thing. And depending on what kind of order it is, we're down to, you know, we might make 10 cents per comic only order, or we might lose 5 cents per comic only order. So we're still figuring stuff out. That's why we have the other orders to kind of help get us started for issue 2, and that's why we're selling the digitals too. We get a couple more people in here. We are gonna go make a drink. All right, so we're getting a couple people in here. There was 5 people I was talking to on Facebook that were all ready to go. I thought we would have 5 people right from the jump. I don't know where they're at because it's only showing 1 person in here. Hold on. Yeah, I was talking to 5 people. that they were going to join the chat, but I don't see them here. Why are you paying taxes on the comic? If you have an IC set up, you should be able to get them without paying sales taxes on. I have no idea what you're talking about. An LCC setup? Yeah, I don't know what an LCC setup is. And first off, I'll tell you right now, well, I don't know. I might not know something you know, but you can't get out of paying sales taxes. We have a Nexus. We have Sales Nexus in North Carolina. Like, we're paying that tax. Like, there's no way you're not paying that tax. Unless you know some slick shit I don't know. But I spent, like I said, the one night recently, just adjusting some things. I spent, oh my God, I was up till 5 in the morning reading about the sales tax nexus in North Carolina and stuff. Whoops. But the sales tax thing is not even, like, that's just one thing. That is federal tax ID number. I don't see how that helps me not paying sales tax. Yeah, I don't see how that helps me at all. Anything you sell, bro, it doesn't matter. Anything you sell, if you have a sales nexus in that state, in any state you have a nexus in, you have to pay sales tax. That's like the law. That's how it is. There's a lot. No, it's there. There's a lot of other fine print stuff, but that's for bigger companies. We don't need to worry about that shit. But the sales tax is like the tiniest thing because it's everything else is the worst stuff. You know what I mean? The sales tax is for only certain things, but the act of shipping it out, like we're an independent company, not even a company. You know what I mean? We're independent. Big companies won't even send out comics because you don't make any money off it. But the whole main point was, yeah, we're selling a lot of comics, but because it's shipping, it's, man, you got to be careful. If you don't add in the right numbers when you're doing your math on what kind of options you have for people to buy, you're gonna screw yourself hardcore. When I buy things that I am going to resell, I do not have to pay sales taxes on it because I am going to be charging the customer the sales taxes. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I might have been talking about something else. No, I'm not talking about sales taxes. Yeah, I said that. I'm talking about something else. The customer is the one paying the taxes, the pass-through tax. It's a pass-through tax through, like, you don't actually get the money. You don't keep the money. The customer pays what's called the pass-through tax, which means I just collect it and then I give it to whoever your sales nexus is. Like if you're in a big company and you have a sales nexus in like every state, all right, boom, you're done. That's what you're doing. But if you're small and only have it in a couple states, then you handle that. What I'm talking about is with comic books, it's built into the comic cover price, the sales tax is. So even though it's a pass-through tax, it's built into that comic price, which is just a pain. That's something I was talking to people about too, because I still didn't understand why it was built into the price, but I have no idea. We might be doing that wrong though, because I didn't have time to finish that conversation. But like I said, the sales tax thing is, it's not even worth having a whole discussion over. The biggest thing is actually shipping. Shipping is huge because you need to get stiffeners in there and you need to make sure it's gonna ship without getting damaged. I gotta cut the first 15 minutes out of this. Hopefully we'll get started soon. I'm just kind of bullshitting. I thought everyone else would be in here by now. Let me message them real quick, because like I said, I have 5 people on Facebook that are ready to go. Let me message them, tell them to get in here. I'm gonna go make a drink. Wait, will there be any physical difference between first run comics and second run comics? No, there's not gonna be a difference. I don't even know if we're gonna do a second print just yet, because we have the variants coming. We have the day and night variant, so I'm thinking, like, you know, maybe people would just rather get the variant instead. Are you ever going to go back and review season 4 and 5 of Game of Thrones? I reviewed seasons 4 and 5 of Game of Thrones. Wait a minute, let me double check to make sure. Maybe I skipped them. If I missed them, I'm not doing it. YouTube's at a state right now where I can't. Like before, I could quickly pop out something, but yeah, what the fuck is wrong with the camera? YouTube's at a. Why the fuck is that like that? I gotta fix that. Wait, you know what? I have a playlist for Game of Thrones. What am I doing? I could have sworn I reviewed them. Alright, so I did Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. I did a lot on Season 3. Oh yeah, I didn't do 4 or 5. I went right to 6. Yeah, I'm not going to review 4 or 5. Huh, I don't even remember skipping those. I think that's when I started watching on the, I started watching on the HBO Live. HBO Now. Maybe make sure I read all the comments here. Why are you paying taxes on comics if you... Oh, never mind. We already did that. Because I'm going to be charging. Are you ever going to go back and review... 4 of us now, back down to 2. Yeah, I'm shooting out that message. Because like I said, we would have had... I don't know what it is. Yeah, Patreon's a funny thing. It's like you set up the reward tiers, and then you'll get a lot of people who don't... Like, I've had a lot of people. I'll tell you this right now, like 95% of the people that I talk to that are patrons, they don't care about Patreon rewards. Like, they legit... And they're nice about it. They're not assholes. They're just like, here, we're just paying to support. Like, and you won't see them in here. They don't care to come to the live streams. So that's why I wish we had something set up. I don't know. Maybe there was a thing where Patreon could set it up to where you're like, listen, I'm going to donate, but I could care less for the rewards. And then you can see who wants to do it, who wants not to. And then you can, you know, coordinate with the people who want to be down for it. Or maybe you guys want different rewards. You know what I'm saying? And then we can work on stuff like that. That would be cool. Let me see. Yeah, there's 19 patrons with the $10 tier, so that we could have 19 people in here. But like I said, everyone I talk to, they're like, I don't care about rewards. Let me make sure we got everyone's posts. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Patreon's a funny little thing. I'm here. Oh, Eddie's here. Eddie's one of the people I was talking to on Facebook. So I got 4 people missing, Eddie. 4 people from Facebook said they were messaging me all day waiting for the damn live stream, and they're not here. We're going to get started in a minute because I don't have a lot of time tonight because I was up till 5 in the morning getting packages ready. I was going to ship them tomorrow, and I was going to be... as many as I can actually physically type into the computer, print out labels, I was going to ship as many as I can. If it was 300, I'd ship 300 tomorrow, but it's Labor Day or something, Memorial Day, some shit like that. So the post office isn't open, so I can do it. I can do it in the computer and generate labels, shipping labels, but I can't actually give it to the post office tomorrow. So I'm going to wait another day. I commented on the live stream where you told us stories of your past that you should Patreon only videos, Q&A live streams, and pictures of your past. Yeah, I got videos coming up for that too, for some stuff like that. Got some stories. Got some stories. I gotta dig through the images though, because I think it would be cool to talk about like a certain story and then have the images to go along with it. You know what I mean? That would be pretty cool. One thing I got to figure out is how to pull video off of like those old camcorders, because listen, I got like 9 videotapes of old footage from 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, I think. Yeah, I got like 9 of them, and they're just like, you know, parties, drinking. The one where I got in that bad car accident where I talked about, I videotaped the car after the accident. I videotaped a lot of different stuff. I got all that footage on there, and I was thinking about adding some of the footage as well. You know, it's shitty camera quality, but you could see it. It's 2002 camera quality. Meant to say you should do Patreon only content of the past. Yeah, well, I have that Ronnie Hayes channel, and I was thinking of putting some of the stuff on the Ronnie, like do the vlog kind of, because there's some videos I got, and it's like the behind the scenes stuff, a map like of me and Juliet as we're setting up for different videos, like the Munch Pack videos too. A lot of like the stories about the past. I was gonna put it on the Make a Path Presents, or I'm sorry, the Ronnie Hayes, so that way I'd have the Ronnie Hayes for the videos that like the vlogs and all that weird, just anything weird and different that just doesn't fit on Make a Path Presents. I originally, like, I hate having different channels. I think it's so dumb. I hate it. I think it's so incredibly dumb. But YouTube is just I'm outvoted by the people who watch YouTube. A YouTube channel is supposed to have different content, but viewers are just not there yet. They're just not. And I don't mean that to sound like an insult, but I do mean that to sound like a negative thing. A channel should have different content on it. It's a channel. It's like going to AMC and expecting only The Walking Dead. What is this, Breaking Bad? No, we want zombies only. No, it's a channel. They got different shows. So that's what YouTube will eventually become. Channels with different content, not just, you know, one person has this channel and it's only this specific content. It'll grow into that someday. What you could do is maybe open up the chat to the public, but have the Patreon members message you on Patreon, and then you can prioritize the Patreon questions before the YouTube ones. Well, that's another hard thing, though, is that's the point of the Super Chats. The Super Chats, which, again, like this whole system, I hate it all. I hate it all. And it's built on money. It really is, because if YouTube just was like it was in the past, there'd be no problems. There'd be no need for any of this. But the idea of the Super Chat is to entice the viewers to give money to have your question, like, you support it, and you definitely get your question read out. But I try to burn through so many questions, which theoretically is something you shouldn't do, because again, you want the incentive for people to put the Super Chat in there. But I hate the whole concept, because it's like you're baiting them to pay for the comment. I don't know. I just rather have people, if they want to support, they support, without being like, oh, here's a comment thing. I don't know. I feel like YouTube could make that a little bit better, where, I don't know. What the fuck do I know? But yeah, that's the thing, Eddie. You know what? Yeah, you could have people who wanted to do the Super Chats still do the Super Chats, and I would read them, and then the people doing the Patreon only can comment on Patreon. Therefore, they don't have to do a Super Chat on top of the Patreon. They could just do the Super Chat. That would work with the way you're explaining it. I would upgrade to the Benjamin's Reward tier on Patreon to see that shit. I am glad that you didn't. Yeah, I like doing different content. I can't just straight do one thing. I know one time the biggest mistake I made on my channel was getting so excited that we were growing in a, like, big, right? And this was around like the 20,000 subscriber mark. We were growing fast. We went from 2,000 to 20,000 in like a couple weeks. I don't know if anyone remembers that little jump there, but yeah, I was on YouTube for a year. I got about 2,000 subs. Then I started talking about The Walking Dead, and I went from 2,000 to 20,000 in like a month and a half. Like, it was insane. And I got so excited. I was like, oh, as a huge thank you, I'm going to do like 2 weeks of nonstop Walking Dead content. So I did 2 weeks of nonstop Walking Dead content, and then it was over, and I went to do something else that was like not Walking Dead, and there was 100 comments, you know? What is this? Why is this on a Walking Dead channel? That was one of the, because then I started, oh my God, you know? Okay, I see their point. Let me do a Walking Dead video to make up for it. And then every time I wanted to post a non-Walking Dead one, I was doing a Walking Dead one, so that way you can have your pick, you know? And that was one of the biggest mistakes I made. I honestly should have just said, you know, I appreciate the growth. We're going to mix it up and not done that, you know, 2 weeks of straight Walking Dead, because it escalated. And then it just turned into Walking Dead only, which was definitely partially my fault. Have you ever heard of the TV show Power with 50 Cent? The season finale was tonight. I heard of it. I haven't had a chance to check it out, though. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I'm glad that you answer our questions without the super chat. Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is, if someone puts in a super chat, I'll make damn sure to read it and give them a shout out and whoop-de-whoop. But, you know, I go into this expecting no super chat and just read as many questions as I can. Look at this. What do you think about this? Well, we printed this out of our own money to send in with as many copies as we can. Anyone that ordered like over a certain limit, it's the only way we'd be able to get away with it. And it's for social media. It's going to be 150. I think we have 150 or 155 of these. And James has a few too. I think he's got like 20 or 30. He's going to ship in the UK. But that way when you go on social media, you can take a picture with your camera like this. And then post something. Doomsday Kingdom, whoop-de-whoop. I just read it. So this is kind of like a social media freebie. We're putting in a few of the orders. They're going to be randoms. Yeah, it is hard to please everybody. We got a couple people. I guess we could start chit-chatting now. We got a few people in here. Alright, yeah, we got 5. We could do a little small chat with 5 people. That'll work. Alright, so. What is... That shit is dope. Can't wait to get one to post my pick. Everyone's getting one but Eddie. No, anyone who orders any prints, if you order 1 print, 2 prints, 3 prints, until we run out, anyone who ordered a print, I believe at this time, for the US, because I don't know how many the UK definitely has, but I believe everyone who ordered a print at the very least absolutely got one of these already, because I already put the print copies with the print orders. I have them over there. So I at least know that for a fact. If you ordered a print, you're definitely getting one of these, because I already got them set up. I have to say, though, I stole that idea. This was my idea, and I told James to draw this up for us, but I stole that idea. There's a comic book called Redneck. It's about vampires, and they had one where it was a guy eating, you know, blood or something, and it was just his mouth with vampire teeth. And I don't know if they made the cover like that to get people to do that, but I saw people online going, you know, putting the comic to their face going like that, and I was like, James, yo, I don't know if they meant to do that or what, but listen, we got to whoop-de-whoop with this shit, because that would be awesome. I thought your feeding posts for the comic shops were cool too. Yeah, I got that one right here. Those are hard. That's difficult to figure out, because I'm going to end up making 4 of them. One's going to be for the comic shop, one's going to be for us to put on display when I go to conventions, and then I was going to put 2 up for raffle sale, and then to help bring in extra money to support the channel. So, but that is kind of hard, because it's like, what if the raffle sale only brings in $10, and it's like, you know, you buy, like, I mean, it's you know, you're putting in like $15-20, and then you got to spend a few hours building it and putting it together, and it's like, man, if the raffle only brings in $20, it's like, man, I just wasted hours putting that together. Yeah, it inspired me. I didn't rip it off. It inspired me. It definitely did. It did inspire me to come up with that. I was talking to my brother today. I was giving him an idea I've been working on. kind of like it's reminiscent of Lost, the TV show, because you'll be reading a comic, you'll be reading Doomsday Kingdom, and we're talking you'll be reading it for 5 years, right? Our time, 5 years, and then you're going to hit this one point in the story where the whole structure will change completely, and then we're going to follow the story, a different part of the story for a while, and then it's going to connect to the main story in a way where you're just like, what? I got to tweak that idea a little bit, because I want to be able to like punch the readers in the gut with that idea, but I'm still tweaking with it because it's a new one. But it's just the structure. It doesn't affect the story. Raffle should bring in a couple hundred. That's what I was hoping for. In all honesty, I was hoping for, because I signed the bottom too. Like you got the bottom signed. That one's sloppy because this is mine. I was just testing it out. But the bottom signed and then dated the year. It's even painted. It's painted in the back. It's got like a dirt wood color. This is all like that fake real grass. That's all individually glued. Like you glued the bottom and then you put the glue so you can't tell that there's plastic there. It's a time consuming. It is. And then you got to get the little handcuffs and you make the this. You got to bend metal, wrap it around the pole, and then you put a little dab of glue on the back to keep it still. But you paint everything here, you glue all that down. I don't know, I like it. I think it came out really cool. That's it. Yeah, I think that came out really cool. Got little handcuffs. I got 2 more pairs of handcuffs coming from China. Whenever they get here, I'll finish it. But the idea was, oh, did you see the little map stickers? We got little map stickers too. You can't see them. They're only 2-inch, little 2-inch by 2-inch going in all the orders. I bought 1,000 of those, so everyone will get a sticker. Just bought a digital copy of Doomsday Kingdom issue 1 a few seconds ago. I'm going to read it after this live stream. I appreciate the support. Those digital copies, those help us out big time. Have anybody ever noticed you in the streets from your YouTube vids like you were a celeb? Luckily, yes, but luckily they've been real cool, like nothing freaking out. Just like, oh, like a happy coincidence. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I ran into you here. So, but yeah, it's happened. The one month was weird. Like 6 months ago, there was 1 month where everywhere my daughter went, once every other day, we ran into somebody at the post office, at Target, at the grocery store. Especially in that 1 week, it was literally every other day for like a week and a half, and my daughter was getting a kick out of it. She was, kind of hoping that would just keep continuing. It was funny. Jim should offer to put people in the comic as a zombie for $100 a pop. People just send him a picture, work with them for future issues. We already do that. Mark, we already do that. Check this out. Yo, one of the people in the chat right now is a zombie in the very first issue. Hold on. Oops. Look. I don't want to give away too much, but look at Eddie. Bam. You even got a little name tag that says Eddie. Bang. This is my copy too, so if you see me banging it around, it got damaged in shipping, so we ordered replacements. There was 49 of these that got damaged in shipping, so yeah, we already do that. I don't know if we can continue to do it, but we should definitely advertise it more, because if we get people offering to do that, that might help us out. And I was thinking about something too. We should have like the elite package where, and keep in mind, this isn't, this is to really help the franchise and get it going, but some type of elite package where not only do you pay to have a zombie in the thing, but you also get the actual original page, which I believe the pages go for like $60. You're going to have to tell me in the comments. Let me know in the comments what they are officially, but it would have to cover the cost of that plus, you know, to be in the comic. So that way it's like, boom, there you go. Because I also think that is an awesome idea. If someone was like, oh man, you could be a zombie in The Walking Dead issue #1, if someone gave you that opportunity, it'd be like, what? I mean, even back in the day, you didn't know what it would become, so it is essentially taking, it's like playing a lottery. It's taking a chance. But a lot of investments, that's what it's all about, taking that chance. But imagine if you had the opportunity to be a zombie in the first issue of The Walking Dead. That would be legendary. You know, even today, if you'd be a zombie in the newer issues, that would be legendary. Yeah, map merch, we're getting on it. I'm trying to get the merch to where I have it here already. So that way, like, we're making it. So that way when people order it, I can ship it right out. And that way we can at least pull in some profit. Because I got map merch on Redbubble. And I think every time something sells, we only make like $2. So it's not that, profit-wise, it's not all there. €60 unless it's the first page or the last page. First or last is $135 US with shipping. Yeah, I forgot about that. The first and last pages are the most expensive. That's common with all the comic book stuff. Oh, you live in Texas, huh? Well, maybe at a convention one day. I'm telling you, if the comic picks up and does really good, I would like to get out to conventions all over the place, you know? It might take a few years, but I would like to get out there.
Oh my god.
Wait, it'd be cool to see my nephew in a DK comic as a creep. That would be cool.
I customized 2 LPS.
Oh, jeez.
Littlest Pet Shop, but I got different ones.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Let me get in here, honey. Weirdo.
I customized them. I love this lighting. I customized them.
So you guys let me know, is there anything in the news about The Walking Dead? I tried looking and I didn't see anything. I was just saying before, there's like a news drought with The Walking Dead stuff. And I don't know if it's just me and maybe it's in my head and hearing, you know, the lawsuits and stuff, but I just kind of feel like they're not promoting The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead like they usually are. I don't know. It could just be me, but I get this feeling that like it just doesn't feel like The Walking Dead is a week. I'm sorry, Fear the Walking Dead is a week away. It doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like they forgot to promote it. Yeah, it's been quiet, right? I thought it was just me or something. I was thinking too when I jumped into this chat, I'm like, well, you know what, I'll look up something to watch and I'm sorry, something to talk about. Yeah, I think the lawsuits might have hurt them. I went to the Dallas Comic-Con this summer. I met Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Norman Reedus. I shook JDM's hand. He was the coolest motherfucker. Oh yeah, he definitely seems cool, real cool in interviews. Him and Norman Reedus would probably be the coolest bunch to just chill with. They seem like just regular normal people. Like once you get over being starstruck, you could probably hang out with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Norman Reedus and forget they're celebrities, you know what I'm saying? Except for if you go in public, then it's going to be hard to forget it then. For merch, try using Alibaba to get your stuff printed and made. They're normally companies from China and are cheap but good quality. Shit, damn, everything from the USA is made in China. Having my children's book printed from a company in China. Yeah, we'll have to look up some stuff like that. I was thinking about doing the silk printing like this Last of Us, getting some posters made up like that and just selling them. I'm trying to point all over the damn place. But it's awesome having, it's an awesome idea having Redbubble set you up. But I think if you're extremely busy and you have a lot of people who want to buy merch, Redbubble's probably great, because think about it. If you got 1,000 people that buy your t-shirt and you only make $2 off it, even if you only make $2, Redbubble handles everything. You know, shipping it out, handling this. Like, they'll do everything, and you still pull in $2,000. So I think that's why a lot of bigger people use Redbubble, because if you get a lot of people buying stuff, that's when you bring in some decent money. And if you can do that every month, you know, that's $2 grand every month. I pulled all the prints off of Redbubble because for us, we can make a couple bucks off the prints, but for Redbubble, it's only like, you know, $1.50 or some shit like that at the most. Oh, we got another person here. We got 6 people here. Hello, Misunderstood. Give us some news. What are we talking about, man? I talked before about rewatching the Game of Thrones, and I'm going to say this again. I rewatched the Game of Thrones when I was doing the shipments, and I'm just sitting there bored as hell doing the shipments, and I'm thinking, I'm going to watch season 1 all over again, and I loved it. Oh my god, I loved it. Someone said, Eddie, I think you're the one who told me to watch Narcos season 3. I'm going to check that out. I might watch my first episode tonight, because I have about an hour's worth of work to do tonight. I started my official... Check this out. For those interested in the comic, I started my official timeline. This is something I pulled together out of like just the craft paper that you wrap stuff up in. I made my timeline for 34 issues. 34 issues. And what I'm doing is I started filling in what each issue is going to be about, because I have the story written right now up to 60 or 70 issues, and then I have it outlined up to 200 issues. Unless something changes and it gets bigger, it's going to be a 200 issue story, so that's where we'll end it. And it's going to be open-ended. It'll still have the potential to have some of the background characters, because everyone doesn't die. It's not like one of those everyone dies. But there's a specific ending to like this story. But check that out. So I unroll it, and this way I can look at it for the first 34 issues, and then I can piece it together like it's a song. You know what I mean? The highs and the lows. What do we got here? My brother and his wife took a picture with them. I cosplayed as Negan. I had Lucille prop. Nice. I changed my name. Used my own actual name. Oh, alright. You can make your own shirts on Vistaprint for $5 each. I gotta check out Vistaprint. Hey Ronnie, just got here, yo. That is cool about the children's book. I've not watched Game of Thrones yet. What is the best way to catch up? Just watch it. Just watch it. I don't know what you mean by that. You mean, like, what? How to watch it? I got HBO Now. $15 a month, and you can watch anything on HBO. And when they air new episodes, you can watch it the moment it airs. You don't have to wait like 24 hours and stupid shit like that. A lot of places do that. Hold that paper up again real close to the cam. Haha, it's not going to work. I write in riddles in case I ever lost this and someone found it. Like, for example, what do we got here? Like, it just talks about the intruder, Katie intro. That's in issue 2. Katie's going to have an intro. Issue 3 is the intruder. We got... Oh, yeah, I do kind of go in description on a couple of those. The private room neck scene. That's one of my codes. Remember that. For issue 3, it's called Blood Flow. The private room neck scene. That's going to be great. I can't wait for that. That's going to be one of those scenes where it's going to be bloody and gory, but a lot of zombie fans are going to be like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is not your normal zombie story. Wait a minute. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's not like, oh my god, that's never been done before, but yeah. I think that's going to be issue 3. I think I made up a word for issue 6. It's called Townfall. I think I totally made that up because it's a play on words for downfall. That issue deals with society's downfall, but the characters are going through the heart of the city, and there's a lot of crazy shit going on that it's cool because there's another character and his story will touch back with what's happening downtown. So we're going to revisit it a couple times. It's pretty neat. And that's why I wanted to make this big, long list, because then instead of writing it out and then... it's different because a lot of linear storytelling, they're like, okay, they do this, they run here, they run for supplies, they do this, they do that. But with Doomsday Kingdom, there's a lot of times where I'm introducing something, like Katie and Tristan are running down a street, down on Main Street, and they're just coming off a public square. So you have this heart of downtown, and they run down Main Street, and there's a couple bodies that just look like they exploded. They're right in front of them on the sidewalk. I mean, there's just blood everywhere. There's like sprays of blood, you know, 10, 20 feet around in a whole circle. It's just like body bombs. They just like blew up. And then they stop for a moment and they look down, and then a body just comes flying down and hits the ground and explodes. And they step back a moment, and there's a shadow in the alleyway. And then Tristan's like, grabs her hand, and he's like, let's get the fuck out of here. That is one moment where it's just a moment. You have no idea what's going on. You could probably replay it in your head and be like, oh, that could be anything. But later on, we're going to see what happened in that building, and you will know who that shadow was. And I do that often, and I do it on purpose, because we're telling stories of characters that they might run into each other for a split second. You might have, like the best way to put this is, imagine in The Walking Dead, imagine where Rick Grimes and them went to the area where the snow and the ice and all that was falling down. Well, in the book, you read and find out the governor was there, and the governor's the one who wrote that sign. Well, in my comic, we do a lot of stuff like that, except for you know it in the comic. It's not like, oh, you have to read the novel to understand that that was the governor. Like in the comic, you would see the one issue, in issue 20, you know, where the governor wrote that sign. And then you won't even see the Rick and gang until issue 40, seeing the sign. You know what I mean? So that's why I got to scroll it all out, to make sure I'm hitting the right notes. I went to put Lucille over my shoulder to pose and accidentally hit JDM's hand because he put his hand on my shoulder. He was like, oh, you want to do a pose? And took his hand down. DDK, love the way you have done your outlines. Super hands-on. Thank you. How do you like all of Doomsday Kingdom reviews on YouTube that has been popping up since the arrival? Everyone I've seen was definitely fair reviews, all positive. Matter of fact, I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't seen a negative review yet, and I know we're going to get it. There's no way you can't get a negative review. So we're going to get one. Some of the reviews, I love it how, and you're not even mad. Like, usually I'm the one critiquing stuff, so we'll get people saying, well, I wasn't too sure about this or how this was said, and it's totally cool when people say that, because as the creator, you sit back thinking like, yeah, you'll understand that, you'll get why it went like that in a little bit, you know, down the line. What is this? I'm looking forward to the new episode of Fear the Walking Dead more than I thought I would. I'm looking forward to Fear the Walking Dead a lot. How do you... Hey, live long. Yeah, I've been live for 50 minutes already. Where's everybody? Oh yeah, holiday weekend. Well, not only that, but it's Patreon only. So there's only 19 people signed up, and we have 7 now. So we're a little under the half point. But like I said, I had 5 people from Facebook. 1 is here, and there's 4 that I was just talking to them about jumping. They've been asking all day when I was going to start it. Anyway, next Sunday, Fear, come on, right? Is it next Sunday? Yeah, it's got to be. It's only like a week away. I'm hyped. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the... I apologized, and he was so cool about it. He said, that's okay, man. You can smack the shit out of me, but Lucille, I don't care. And Norman said, yeah, man, beat the shit out of him. Yeah, that sounds like them. They seem real cool. Fear's going to be a double. I hope it is. Fear the Walking Dead. What are you hoping for the most with the coming season for Fear the Walking Dead? This is going to be... Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is still the second half of the 3rd season. But what are you hoping for? I do know that the ads made it seem like this is everything we thought it would be. The predictable internal conflict. And I'm going to say this again. Where you have the racist guy living with the Injuns. I remember when I said that last time, people were like, Ronnie, why are you being racist? And it's like, come on, people. First off, it's the racist guy calling them Injuns. I thought that was a simplified way to put it, but I guess not. I'm hoping that that's misleading. I don't think I give a damn about a story where it's just, you know, the people who used to live in the ranch now having to deal with the people who are now living in the ranch. You know, I don't think I care for that. If that is the underlining story, and then we build off of that, and it ends up being something really cool, I'm game for that, you know? Oh, you got a green TMT coffee mug? I got one, too. It's one of my favorite mugs. I think I got it from, like, FYE or something. And then being at the compound reservation, I want to see them move on to a new location. Yo, here's the thing, and I'll tell you this right now. For those reading Doomsday Kingdom, there's an actual legit reservation, and it's an important part in the beginning of the story. Or in the first 30 issues, we're going to get to the reservation. And I have always planned on putting a Native American group and it taking place on an actual reservation. So when we get to that point, no one say, oh, Fear did that, because they fucked it up. I'm actually doing Native Americans, and that's because I'm part Native American, so I don't think we have Native Americans in enough stuff, you know what I mean? And they have such a, the culture is just beautiful. There's so many beautiful aspects of the Native American culture. I'm thinking, man, we could do some really interesting things here visually, and then take like a, you know, base it off a real life reservation, and I don't know, come up with something cool. Get some great characters. Imagine how, and I already designed the chick. Her code name right now is Crow, but she has the bow and arrow, and she does it old school where they hold the arrow in the bow hand. It's hard to understand it unless you see it, but it's insane. If you see someone shooting a bow and arrow like that, it's nuts. First Sunday and last Sunday are doubles. I have not watched any Fear the Walking Dead. Check it out. You might like it. Season 2, I think, was a real letdown. I don't watch Fear because it just doesn't compare to The Walking Dead in my opinion, but I watch your live streams for it. Well, I appreciate the support. I think Fear could have been so much more than it is. And I just don't understand some of the decisions they make with Fear the Walking Dead. And I'll say it, you know, over and over. I don't care how repetitive it gets. If you have a scene or a moment and it's the same as something that was done on The Walking Dead, why in the world would you do it over again? I think that's one of my biggest criticisms for Fear the Walking Dead. They're not trying hard enough to give us new, fresh material. It's stuff we've already seen. It's shit that characters already went through, you know? And I don't mind if we go through similar shit. You're always going to get that. I don't care if it's The Last of Us, The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Doomsday Kingdom. You're always going to get something similar with the breakdown of society. You know what I mean? You're going to get the cops or the army. You're going to have a scene where they're not all that helpful. It's bound to happen. The Crazies, another example. There's a lot of similarities, but that doesn't mean when you're telling the overall story, this, you know, the big plot points should not be the same. They shouldn't be identical. Are you going to make a character like Negan in Doomsday Kingdom? Not exactly like him with the perfecto jacket, engineer boots, and slick back hair, but like personality, like a character that constantly cusses? No, not at all. Negan is Negan. I would never do a character that is similar to another character I already know. I had to make a conscious effort to do different characters. You know what I mean? As far as cussing, yeah, we will have characters that curse, but again, nothing at all like Negan. You won't have a character going, you know, fucking fuckity fuck. Like, you're not going to have that. I refuse to write that because that character already exists, and I don't want to make like a, you know, like a copycat version. But you'll get some loudmouth characters. I know the writer in a very issue #1, you know, he's not afraid to, or not shy to drop the F-bomb. He even calls the guy a fuckface, I believe. Once you get to know the character, though, you'll understand, because even though he has his serious moments, you know, he enjoys clowning around. He really does. So even when he's in his serious moments, he's still kind of a clown, and that's why I went with that fuckface instead of, you know, asshole or shithead. I'm not up on my Fear the Walking Dead background info. Is Kirkman the writer for that show too? Yeah, see, that's another tricky thing we were talking about. Kirkman is the writer and co-creator of Fear the Walking Dead, as well as that David Erickson. So I don't think he's going to be writing them anymore. Now, keep in mind, he doesn't write them all. He only writes one episode here and there. I think only like one episode a season. So he might just not write it. I thought he was responsible for the story, him and the showrunners. They, you know, would meet together and go over the story. But with the lawsuit, I'm honestly thinking that he's not going to be involved in it like that. Yeah, the Travis stuff was bad. I disagree with their choice to kill Travis. I really disagree with that. There are only 2 comics that I've ever read my whole life, and it's The Walking Dead and Doomsday Kingdom. I'm really looking forward to see how your story unfolds. Your passion plus story plus James will make this blow. I hope you mean make this blow up. My passion and story and James is going to make it all blow? Well, damn, bro. I know what you mean, though. I can't wait. There's some really interesting stuff that, like, me as a zombie fan, if I was just sitting down getting ready to read this story, there's some really interesting stuff that I would just go nuts for. Like, I really can't wait. I wish we had a publisher now and we could just focus on doing an issue, you know, an issue a month. Because I'll tell you right now, if we had a setup like that, I would beg James to be like, listen, let's get ahead. Let's do everything we can do to get ahead, and then let's put out a double issue, because I want to do a special double for something. But I think that would be awesome. I've called people fuckfaces before. It's realistic. That's how people talk. I never understood how in school teachers will say, you don't talk like that in the real world. That's one thing that I can't stand. When you start taking classes and learning about writing, there's some teachers that say the dumbest shit. They'll say, oh, you know, listen to how people talk and write how they talk and yada yada yada, and they'll talk all that bullshit about being realistic and, you know, real people, how they talk. It's broken. Conversations are broken. It's not clean and smooth all the time. But when you go and do something like that, when you say have a realistic dialogue, they'll also say, don't start a sentence with well. And I hate when instructors and teachers do that, because yes, it's true. If you're an amateur, you rely on it way too much. Like saying well and so. Like a character goes, oh, we're going to do this, whoop-de-whoop. And another character's like, well, I don't think that's a good thing. Like, people talk like that. Well, I don't think that's a good idea. You know, people talk like that. But in classes and for courses, they'll try to get you not to use well and so. Like, so, how are you doing? Like, people talk like that. So why can't you write somebody realistically talk like that? I hate when teachers say not to do that, because it's dumb. It's dumb. If that's how the person talks, write it. But if you're an amateur, I think they should advise you to be really careful you're not overusing it. I haven't heard from James about my blank variant. Oh yeah, listen, to blank variants, you just gotta be extra patient with it because they do take a little bit. First off, the blank variants were the put it this way, the blank variants were just shipped to the UK, so they're on the way. They're 3 days now on the way to the UK, but there's customs and stuff, so it's a little bit of wait. Not only that, there's 5 of them he's doing, and they take a little bit of time, you know. So just trust me, you'll hear about it. You'll hear about it. Did you tell him what you wanted drawn? That's another thing with the blank variants. We had a couple people too that they wanted a blank variant, but they wanted it to draw on themselves, or they wanted to take it to a different artist to have, like Charlie Adler, the Walking Dead artist. They wanted him to draw a Walking Dead zombie on a Doomsday Kingdom blank sketch, which is a cool idea, you know. And we just ordered the, well, not just ordered, but after we put up all that information, we ordered the blank sketch to send to James to do the 5, and then he has 5 extra after issue 2. He's going to do those 5, and then I'm going to take the bulk of the ones we got and put them on the site this month, at the end of this month, or maybe in a couple weeks. Hold on. This is a blank sketch variant. It's just the title and it's blank, and then the back is blank. And what this is it's drawing cardstock. It's thicker and it's to draw on, and inside is the original cover. So you got the drawing cardstock where you can draw a full page image, you know, which artists charge double, I believe, for full page, and then you can do single page image where they could draw a face or a body or a zombie. So we're gonna have these in a couple weeks. I think 2 or 3 weeks. We're gonna put these up for sale for 15 bucks. No custom drawing though. No custom drawing. I think the custom drawings, we already did the 5. That was our limit because the artist needs to focus on issue 2 after the custom drawings. But we're going to have these up so you can take them to your favorite artist and get something drawn on it, or just keep them like this. I've collected a few Walking Dead blank sketches where it's just a blank sketch and I don't have anything drawn on them, because I like the blank sketch ones. But they look nice. This is all in color. And that's what that is. Well, here's the thing. If you haven't heard yet about your blank sketch, did you email the doomsdaykingdom@gmail.com? Because I know a bunch of people, a few people, 3 at least I know of, emailed them, and they've been talking about what they wanted, telling him what they want drawn on it. If you haven't told him yet, wait, you have a specific idea and want to run it by him to make sure it's doable. It's not detailed though. Well, if you have an idea, just message doomsdaykingdom@gmail.com and he'll talk to you about it. And again, no rush. If you have the idea but you're not sure how to do it, shoot him an email. There's no rush. And then ask him about your idea, and you know, give him a few days. Maybe he'll think of something and see how you can make it work. Yeah, most men talk like sailors. I know some women that talk like sailors too. Right, it's like if someone said that their friend isn't at their house, you would say, so where is he? Or, well, I guess we'll just have to go to the party without him. I don't get English class. Yeah, and that's another, there's so many different huge, like, you would not take, if you wanted to show a kid that talks like, real nervous like, and, you know, like, not confident like, you would add all those likes. It might be annoying, so be careful. If you were going to talk about someone who uses a lot of lingo, maybe they're over exaggerating and being dramatic, because people who use slang and all that shit, it is fake. You're not born, even in the inner city, it's fake as fuck. you do it purposefully, and you do it so often and at an extent where it becomes something you don't even think about. You know, how you use the slang and how you talk. This is something that if your character does that, you're going to write it how he does that. And I've seen some people say don't do that, and it's like, what is wrong with you? You would not write a story about some thug who is, you know, talking with just straight lingo, and then all of a sudden have him show up and say, oh, I'm not going down that alleyway, you know? He'll be like, nah, dog, I ain't going down that fucking alleyway, da-da-da-da. Write it how he's gonna talk, or, I don't know. Some teachers are fucking dumb. How did you come up with the decision to color inside instead of black and white for Doomsday? I came up with that easy. You need to color. You need to color. I'm against black and white. Even for The Walking Dead, I think it was a good idea because at first it was a money issue because black and white is cheaper. We could cut the cost of our comic. We could cut it down drastically per issue and make more profit, a lot more profit, if we just made it black and white. But you need it in color. You need to see all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm saying like too much. You need to see all that. The detail, the environments, the scenery. And the whole idea is on the cover, it's the green grass, the vegetation growing on that you can't see on this damn camera. But it's the green growing over the concrete. There was an original idea I had where when we first started, the green leaves would overtake the blocks, but it would be too reminiscent of The Walking Dead where the title is falling apart. And it's fine to have some things that are like that. It's fine. But I don't want to have too much stuff that's like that, so I'm not going to do that. Doomsday Kingdom will always remain this. But the idea was, the longer you're in the post-apocalypse, the more green vegetation grows over modern day, you know, cities and towns and shit like that. So we could still do that though. For issue 2, we could have, because it takes place back in the outbreak, so we could take away the leaves for that cover. That would be funny. But yeah, the nighttime variants. Yeah, color makes it more realistic. There's just I don't know. I can't not do it in color. Yeah, doomsdaykingdom@gmail.com. Yeah, but Vision Productions. If you wanted a single answer for why I decided to go with color as opposed to black and white, it's basically the greenery. That's one of the most important aspects. Other than the fact that it's real and gritty, and you know, I love color. Black and white is fine for The Walking Dead. It's fine, but I would enjoy it a lot more if it was in color. And I honestly think it should be in color. They should just make it color, you know. But anyway, because in Doomsday Kingdom, an important part of the story is watching, you know, what happens when society falls and the government can only save, you know, 20% of the population. You know what I'm saying? Population. Wow, how did I mess up that word? So a lot of the green overgrowth and like that becomes very important in the story. Nighttime variants are going to be cool. Yeah. I love the day-night variant set. I love it. Another thing I don't like about school is dealing with bullies. They say you should tell a teacher, but it never works. They fuck with you more because no one likes a snitch. I'm not going to give you advice on a bully because there's one piece of advice I got for you. Break their nose. I'm not real good when it comes to information. Nah, I'm not going to say it. I'd lose everything over, like, I don't know. I would lose it all. I would lose it all on a flip of a dime. I remember starting, I left school in like 8th grade. And I remember I went back to school in 11th grade, and there was senior high kids. Like, your cliche, I'm going to pick on the freshman kids just to be an asshole. Like, as cliche bully as you get. And because I was a new face, because I left, and this kid didn't recognize me or know me, but everyone else knew me because I was there my whole life in that school system. He did the stupid, silly bully shit where they're yanking book bags off their back and shit. And this is when I was training in martial arts, so I was like sparring every day. Like legit sparring and fighting and training and working out. I mean, I'm punching with weights. I'm throwing, 1,800 punches a day and 1,200 kicks a day. And I was not shy at all about fighting. And I remember I was just chilling, walking down the hall, and he yanked my shit off, and I slammed the fuck out of him right into a locker. And he wanted to fight me later, and I said, all right. So we picked the hallway. And that was when my brother came out, and he told the kid, he's like, bro, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. My brother's been training, you're just a bully, and he's been training for 3 years now, daily, like a psychopath. I was nuts about that training shit. I would do my 2-finger push-ups because I looked up to Bruce Lee all the time, and I was trying to get down to, because I would do the push-ups. You'd start on your fingers, and then you would go here, and then to 3 fingers, and then you'd be doing push-ups on 2 fingers, and then you get to you're doing push-ups on 2 fingers with 1 hand, or you're doing the thumbs. The thumbs, that's the one I was working on, where you're just doing, legit, go look it up too, you're just doing push-ups on your thumbs. And I mean, that's the type of shit I was doing every day training. And I remember I was so excited to rock this kid because I was gonna light him up. I knocked a kid out one time by kicking him in the chest. Cold knocked him out. I know we were on the alleyway, and my buddy started a fight with him, and I don't know why, but my buddy didn't fight him, didn't beat him up. He brought him back to the block, and the kid was acting like an asshole, and I was like, I can't be around this dude, because I had work on me, so I was like, I can't be around this dude. If the cops roll up around the corner or something, they're going to think we're all beefing and shit like that. So I turned around to walk away and go up the steps. They had like the concrete steps and shit leading up to the alleyway where the houses are. And as soon as I turned around, he moved real quick, and I just got sketched out thinking he was making a move on me, and I Bruce Lee, it's called a burst kick, well, that's what we called it, but I burst kicked the shit out of him right in the chest, and it knocked him out before he even hit the ground. He was out. He was like he went flying back. That was crazy. I thought I killed him. I kicked him so hard. Another thing, oh yeah, are you prepared for the blow up with Doomsday Kingdom that is likely to happen once your Walking Dead views kick back up with the Walking Dead season begins? I mean, more exposure for your comic, more orders. Yeah, I'm hyped. I'm ready for it. I mean, I can't wait. I think this is going to be good practice, getting this first batch sent out. But I would be thrilled because right now I feel real good about this. This is, when I talk to people about selling their independent issues, they talk to me about selling, and we're talking not Kickstarter, not something that's established. We're talking people who got a first issue, and they're happy if they're selling, 20 issues at a time here or there after every few months. When I tell people, like, oh man, we're going to sell 1,000 issues to 1,500 issues in our first print, and that's not just we have 1,500 of first print printed. We're actually going to sell. We didn't sell it yet, but we're getting close to being 100 issues sold. Because there's some people that ordered 25 issues. There's one person that ordered 25 issues, and there's like 8 people that ordered 10 issues. There's a bunch of people that ordered 2 issues, and the signature series, the prints. Which, if you already ordered an issue, I'm going to put the prints up for sale by themselves. But anyway, long story short. That's a huge thing. When I talk to those other people who did comics, and I'm telling them, like, we're going to sell out of our first print at 1,500 copies. And then we're going to do the variants. We're going to probably have a second print if we get more people. Everyone I talked to was like, that is great for an independent. And I mean a truly independent. Way more independent than, most anything that's on Image or anything like that. But when I beat the shit out of them, the bullies left me alone. But then I would get in trouble for defending myself. Fucking retarded. Teachers don't understand that in the real world, people fight. Yeah, if you want fairness, you're not gonna get it. I got expelled from school for fighting, just cause, you know, kids were being dicks, and you just take it. I went and got a job, so I didn't care. You know, I don't think you guys can get jobs like that no more, because I was working when I was 15, like legit, not. You know, I'm working, you know, with my uncle. He pays me off the books. Like, I legit had an off-the-books job when I was 12, working in construction, carrying shingles and all that. Fucking crazy. I don't even want to do that now, let alone looking back, thinking back then. That sucked. Anyway, I got a legit job on the books when I was 15, and I was working 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, you know, all through high school. That's one thing that made me an asshole. I was an asshole in high school. I was an asshole. But the reason I was an asshole, though, is because I was so pissed that I would have to work every day. Because I'd go to school, and then I'd get out of school at 3:15, and I'd have to be at my job at 4 o'clock. So I would go home real quick, eat something, or maybe 4:30, and I'd drive to my job and shit. And I was just an asshole. Because I was always pissed because I'm working every day. And a lot of the kids I was friends with, you know, they're talking about just going, getting stoned and playing video games or chilling. There was a lot of others that worked and had, you know, broken homes and shitty lives and stuff. So, like, I wasn't like the only one who had to deal with shit. But a majority of them, that was very different. They got, like, you know, cars and shit for their birthday. That shit ain't happening in my family. You got a keychain. And, it's funny, my brother got a keychain, and my father said, he took him out to eat when he turned 16. He got a keychain, and my dad said, it's your responsibility to get the key for the keychain, for the car. And when my birthday came around, I didn't even get the keychain. So, that's how it was in our family. You want a car? Buy one. It seems like Doomsday Kingdom 1, that Jim have two different styles of drawing at his disposal, almost like two different artists drew different pages. I don't know what you mean by that. As far as style, I didn't really notice any style changes. I know he got better with the masks, because I know there was 2 images he redrew. So as he's drawn, he's getting better and better and better drawing the rider. When he got to the end of the comic, he went back and touched up. You know, page 1, there was something on the last panel he touched up. And then page, like, you know, 3 or 4 or 6. So, maybe that's what you mean. He just got better at drawing the masks. The mask. But as far as, like, a style, for me, it seems like it's the same thing on every page. The art style is identical. The coloring is different, depending on what we wanted. And that was done on purpose. Let me see. But as far as the style, I don't know. I'm really proud of this. This I did specifically. I mean, I do the outlines for, you know, all the pages, but this one is a little bit different that I designed that I love. I love this one because you start out on the big side and it's all triangles and it's him tying the prisoner up. And then it goes, your eye follows it down to the little spot, and you go down, and then it goes this way, and it's like clicking with the handcuffs, and then it goes down, he grabs the rope, and then your eye traces it, zigzags like this, and then you get to here, where you go, you get to here, he ties them up, and you go down, and it's like, you know, and then it goes, we go here, there, and then 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 zip, and then there, and then down. Yeah, I don't know. I love that. I love that design there. But I try to leave some freedom, some room for him to move to do that. We do have to work on stuff. There is some stuff that, there were some things that were clearly my fault. Not putting enough detail in the descriptions. There was stuff we couldn't do just strictly because of time. There wasn't enough time to do, because originally when the trap opens, like a ton of zombies pour out of the house. But there wasn't James couldn't draw all that. There was only enough time to draw the zombies that were actually going to be in the fight with the rider. But if we ever get a chance to redo that, let's say we get picked up to republish again, there's certain things I'm going to ask him to redraw. I'm going to, you know, I want, you know, 40 zombies coming out of that house. The point is, that's a trap. That's a oh shit trap. We might even add like a couple bonus pages, because there's a page missing, and we're going to see that page later on. And I put an Easter egg in the back of the comic. James put the how to create a page. I put the Easter egg there where I showed the page that's missing, or the writing, the script, and it's where the zombie's walking, but his leg is so rotted it breaks apart at the knee, and the zombie falls down. The reason that's not in there is because we visit that scene again, and we visit it through a different character's perspective, and they see the zombie fall down. So I wanted something to add to the scene. So laugh out loud. You, my dude, bro. Ronnie just said I had that work on me. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is listen, I can lie and be one of those bullshit YouTubers that act like and that's another thing to do. YouTubers will, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so nice, I'm such a role model, whoop-de-whoop. And I can't lie, you know. Even if I did lie, somebody, if this channel got big enough, somebody would expose me. They would be like, oh, look at Ronnie, he got arrested, here's his rap sheet. I can't run away from it. So I'm honest about it. I got arrested. I went to jail. Like, end of story. It's been years. I've been a good boy since my daughter was born. Since she was 2 years old, I quit a life of crime. So, fuck it. Now no one can expose me or whatever, because I talk about it. I'd like to know what the two different styles are you were talking about. My favorite variant for Doomsday Kingdom is the Fireworks one. I can't wait for that to drop. Yeah, that's actually not a variant. That's the regular standard issue number 2 cover. I'm working on an idea for the Signature Series book plate, and I want to talk to James about it. I just got the idea today, and it's going to be a really awesome idea. Well, I don't want to say it in case we don't do it, but eventually I do want to have I do want to come up with something where there's fireworks and you get a real up close look. I could see it in my head, you know what I mean, but it's hard to explain. But it's an up close of a zombie, real detailed, and then there's just fireworks exploding behind him. And I want to talk to James about doing something like that for the Signature Series, for the inside artwork, and then the book plate. I moved to shit kicked out town for 7th grade, was bullied, and eventually did the same thing you did, and later they wanted to be my friend after I kicked her ass. Ha ha ha. Oh, you're a chick. I totally wasn't even putting 2 and 2 together. Misunderstood. Oh, I get it now. Yeah, yo, I did that with a buddy of mine, Joe. Well, I haven't seen him in forever, but Joe, I almost said his last name too, and I was like, well, I don't want to say that, but Joe C, we'll say, just to keep it short. Me and him got to a scrap. Like, we were kind of cool, never didn't really talk, but we were cool, you know. Our friends were the same friends and stuff. We'd be at the same parties every now and then, rarely though, because I work so much. But we were cool, and then we got into this scrap in the hallway, and he was like 3 feet taller than me, and I was trying to throw punches, but he was so much bigger, he just kept clunking me off of the lockers, you know. But I managed not to get knocked out. And I remember after that, we were cool as fuck. I mean, we were real cool. Went to parties together and everything. I mean, and we legitimately enjoyed each other's company too. Like getting drunk, wasted. I remember one time we got so wasted. We were both. Was that him or was that another friend of mine? I was puking out the door, and I hear someone puking next to me, and I look, and they're out the window, the bathroom window, and all you see is we're looking at each other, and both our heads are out of the house, puking our guts out, you know? So, like, we had a lot of, and that happens a lot. Like, back in my day, you used to, well, not back in my day, Jesus fucking Christ, but back in the day, you used to, and this was changing when I was younger, too, but you used to get into a fist fight, and then you would go to the bar or go to a house party, and then you would drink and it'd be all cool. Nowadays, kids are, you know, well, it started turning into, when I was younger, if you got into a fight with someone, like, you had to take it further. You had to, you know, beat them every day, you know, or stab them or shoot them, and it gets ridiculous, you know. I like it better where if we get on each other's nerves, we punch each other in the face, and then later we go and have a few drinks and then laugh about it later. That's what I prefer. I left home 13, 14-ish and lived in a similar lifestyle you had before, Julia, except it was the 80s and there was a lot of snow on the ground, so to speak. I am so glad you turned it around. So am I. Yeah, there was a lot of snow in the 80s. How do I close emojis? Can't see chat shit. I don't know what emojis. Oh, I know what you mean. I don't know, that one zombie coming out was spooky as hell. It officially startled me a little. Yeah, that one. I was writing that. I legitimately wrote that too, thinking, man, if we could make a short, and that's another one of my goals. I would love to make a short off of issue #1, the Feeding Post, like a legit short, like, webisode, you know, just something, because that moment where the door swings open, crack, and you got the music, it's cranked up, and then the music just stops, like some violin, it just stops dead, and there's nothing but darkness, and then you slowly hear the floorboards creaking, and then you slowly see this, you know, rotted face coming out the darkness, and that's the first visual you get, like, no, it wouldn't be the first you get of the zombies. You're already seeing the ones coming out of the woods. But this would be on camera, I mean. This would be the first up close of the face. Because before it'd be a whole body shot. Which in a comic is still really detailed, but still. Yeah, I like that one too. Same here. Since my daughter was born, my life changed all for the good. I feel that. First page, last page of DK1 with the black background seems like a different style to me than page 2 and 3. Oh, right, terminology. It's not criticism, just not... Oh, no, I feel you, too. And I know what you mean now. I absolutely know what you mean. I'm thinking different. Like, style, when I hear that, I'm thinking this. This is a perfect example. When I hear style, I'm thinking like this. This is a totally different style. That's a totally different art style than what James has for Doomsday Kingdom. You know what I mean? So when you said style, that's what I was thinking. But I definitely know what you mean. And yes, we did that on purpose. That was something that James definitely wanted to do, creating the color effect. Because if you look at them in black and white, it's the same thing. But the first page and the last page are supposed to be completely different than the coloring throughout, because if you look at them side by side, I don't want to show the cliffhanger here, but they take place in the same exact room, roughly around the same exact time. And that's something else I would like to discuss, why I did that the way it was. Because originally the story was the Rider, and there's no dialogue except for the Rider talks to the prisoner like twice, and he yells out for the creeps. And I think in the first draft he actually just shot his gun in the air twice, and then the creeps came out of the woods. So originally there was no dialogue at all. The Rider shows up, we follow him all the way to the feeding post, ties up the prisoner, he walks back, and then the trap is sprung, and he does all that fighting. And originally that was it. There was no dialogue at all. After that scene, we have a scene where he's sitting down talking to the Guardian leader, and that's just a code name I use because we didn't reveal his real name. So his name isn't the Guardian leader. That's just it sounds silly, but the leader, and he's explaining what happened. So originally issue 1 was 2 completely different scenes. One with the feeding post and one talking to the leader, explaining where he came from, you know, what happened. The leader's trying to get him to reveal more. But to fit it all into the first issue, I combined them both, and that's why it makes it look like it's a flashback, but it's actually you know, a guy, it's two scenes playing out at the same time. It's a guy sitting in a chair talking about what he just did, and as he's talking about it, we're seeing it. You know what I mean? Anyway, isn't that just the way it goes? Absolutely, yeah. It's how life works. I get shit from my dad. He was a boxer when he was in high school. He was constantly getting into fights and beating the shit out of people. That's how it usually works, Ronnie, or at least that's how it is with boys. You hate each other, you fight, you beat the shit out of each other, and then later on you become bros. For a lot of people, that's it. Unless somebody else is a complete dick, then it's like, no, we're not being friends. You're just a dick. Anyway, what were we talking about? This is supposed to be a free-for-all Q&A, so anyone had any questions or anything you want to bring up, we can discuss. I keep sliding the conversation towards Doomsday Kingdom. I just can't wait until I start making the videos for Doomsday Kingdom, and I'm going to start on issue 3. I'm going to make the commentary for issue 1, and then we got some other stuff planned. But I can't wait for that because I want to do it now, but I'm like, no, we need everyone to get it first because I don't want to spoil it for other readers. And not only that, there's other stuff that we'll get to some other time. Anyway, James going to be like Charlie Adler, the same like how he just got better with his drawing each issue. Yeah, definitely. I personally think his drawing of the Rider got better as he went along. I definitely agree. There was some he even touched up. There was some that could be... well, some of it's difficult because it's far away. And in comic books, they don't do far away detail. They do it really sloppy. Like on purpose. And it's supposed to be like the far away shot and blurry, like how it looks in real life when you see something far away. But that has always bugged me, far away shots, and they look like really, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not detailed at all. And that's just something that me personally, even with professional comics and professional artists, but that's, as a comic reader, that's just something you just got to deal with. Because when I first started reading comics, some of the images I was like, this is artwork? Some of this is lame. But you have to understand, you can't do that detail from a character who's all... Like, see how these guys are here? You're not going to get crisp detail of what his face looks like. He's all the way back there. So in the comic, you'll have that where it's just, you know, the shape of it and there's no detail there. Oh, yeah, I can't wait for Stranger Things either. I can't wait. I love that show. I love that show a lot. I seen these little Funko figures in the Toys R Us the other day, and I was like, oh, man. They look like crap, though, but the Demogorgon looked cool. They were little tiny, like, 4-inch figures. They were only like this big, maybe. Smaller than the Walking Dead ones. And I remembered McFarlane Toys is making 7-inch figures of Stranger Things, the characters, and I was like, oh man, I want to get that Demogorgon. I think that would be so awesome, which they should have did in the first place. It should have been 11 and a Demogorgon. You know, the cop is cool, that's cool, but the Demogorgon, man, I don't know. Yeah, I was happy with the one major death in the season finale of Game of Thrones, and I wanted that person dead a while ago too. No, my mom wasn't technically a single parent. My parents did get a divorce, but she wasn't really a single parent. It's different though. I don't know. That's a whole other weird different thing because you know, she would say she's a single parent. Just because my father wasn't around. But I say that, but it's weird. It's not like he was an alcoholic. Like, we don't have a bad, you know, story like that or nothing. He was just disinterested in children and always worked. So that's just what it was. So I guess in a way you could say sure, but it was still that household. So I don't know. So you can't really, you know, because it's being a single parent is a totally different thing than having someone helping out. But then again, when you get into the complications of, oh, it was, you know, it was like two people who hated each other living with each other. It's not like, you know, it's not working out so well. So I don't know. Outcast failed because it was on Cinemax. Nobody has Cinemax. I agree with that. Outcast should have went somewhere else, and people will get Cinemax, you know, for the right shows. But unfortunately, I don't think what Outcast has, I don't think it's enough to get people to go to Cinemax. You know, even for a show like The Walking Dead, I would still say, ouch, I wish it was on a better platform, you know, than Cinemax. But going with Cinemax, I think was the wrong idea. I think Outcast would have done even better on HBO as opposed to Cinemax. And a lot of people tell me that HBO owns Cinemax, and I don't know how that works, but it doesn't air on HBO because I have HBO and it doesn't air on that. Oh, there was a deleted scene? Where do you find that at? I want to watch the Blu-rays. I don't know if there's any deleted scenes on the Blu-rays. Now I want to go check them out because I got all the Blu-rays except for the newest season. I'm drunk and I just lost my blunt typing the last message. How in the world did you lose your blunt? It's got to be on your counter or floor or something. It's floating around there. You'll find it. Yeah, Outcast. Is there anyone in the chat that watches Outcast? I watched it. I would be interested in season 2. I'd be real interested in season 3 too, based off of where the comic is. I'm curious to see where it goes. I gotta fix this damn... This thing is not supposed to shake like that. But I'm real interested to see where the story goes. But now we might not get a season 3. The actors talked about the scenes they filmed that did not make the cut. Aww. That's probably loud on the microphone. I should stop doing that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm real excited for The Walking Dead, but I still think like, damn, there's a chance, I don't know, there's a chance it might not be as amazing as it should be. I watched Outcast, but was a bit underwhelmed overall. I could see that from some people, definitely. One of the trickiest parts with that story, no Outcast, do you have in aversion to is that American Horror Story? I haven't seen it. I'm not a fan at all about ghosts though, and I heard that was like, you know, hauntings and ghosts and stuff like that, or something like that. And I am not, like, not even at all. Like, I don't believe in ghosts. I don't find them scary. I don't find them that interesting. That's just with me though, personally. I can't get into any ghost stories or ghost-like stories. Season 2 filmed already overseas, so I torrented it. Yeah, they aired it in the UK already, but not in the US. They said they're not going to air it in the US until next year. I didn't finish watching, though, only 2 episodes of Season 2. Second scene was one with Cersei wakes up in a bloody bed from a miscarriage. Seriously? Why in the world would they cut that? Because that's an important thing that they would want to show. Unless they're going to save it for next year. Why in the world would they cut that? Huh, I don't know. sometimes they cut things that I disagree that should have stayed in the freaking show or movie, you know? Look at that stack. That is awesome. I put all those protectors on the pictures. Got a whole fresh stack of them ready to go in orders. Look at that. Boom. That's gorgeous. They filmed it. Why didn't they put it in the show? So many fans were thinking she was faking it. You know, so many fans were thinking this, that, and the third. It's truly fucked up, and I dare you. It's not what you think. Anyone want to chime in on that? I'll check it out. Oh, what's that? The first time I heard the copy and paste that article here. What? That's the first time I heard that. Copy and paste that article here. Yeah, I'm going to look it up too. I'm going to see why they took it out of there, because that I think that's so silly. If they really actually remove that, maybe they changed their mind and they didn't know. Like if they came out and said, "Oh, we took it out because we don't know if we want to go that direction yet with the story and yada yada yada, or save it for the new season," I can see that. Okay, but if they want to just have Cersei in the next season go, "Oh, I had a miscarriage," all the fans are going to think she lied to begin with. They already think she's a liar, you know? I personally think she's telling the truth. I just don't think she has a reason to lie to Jaime. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, it's to trick him to fight for." And I'm like, I don't think Cersei would want to trick him. She would want to be like, you know, "You're going to fight for me because I'm family." "Oh, you're not going to? Okay, well, now you're my enemy." You know, I don't know. I don't see Cersei the type to want to trick Jaime. I think she's the type to want him to obey, you know, without having to trick him. That's just me personally. So I believe she was pregnant for the story-wise. Ugh. There's some really good stuff. There's some really, really good stuff in Game of Thrones, though. I'll check out that American Horror Story. I'm going to get off in a couple minutes. Wow, we're actually almost at 2 hours. I'm going to get off in a few minutes. I let Juliet stay up. I was only going to be on for an hour. I let her stay up, and she's playing games on my phone. I hear her talking now, so I'm going to put her to bed, and I think I might watch. I'm exhausted. I was up till 5 in the morning getting ready for all the shipping orders, but I think I'm going to lay down in bed tonight and watch the first episode of Narcos. That's a Netflix show. That's really good if anyone's interested. Oberyn from House Martell from Game of Thrones. He is in, I believe he's the main character now. He was the main character in the first 2 seasons, but now he's like the main character. What's your favorite kill in the Sopranos TV show? My favorite kill? Let's see. My favorite kill. You know, Pussy was a cool one. Ralph was pretty badass. What was my favorite kill though? Yeah, I know. We'll get the crew back when we do the next public one. What I don't know. I have no idea. I'm drawing a complete blank. I did watch The Sopranos over again. I binged all the seasons recently too. Not like this month, but like a month ago. Yeah, I'm going to check out Narcos. I'm going to start first. I liked season 1 and 2. I already watched those. But season 3 just came on like 2 days ago. And I'm going to watch the first episode of season 3 tonight. I'm trying to think. Sopranos. One of my favorites was... Damn, why am I drawing such a blank on that? I still think the hit on Tony Soprano, the first hit, I think that was probably one of the favorites. Even though they didn't get him, that was definitely one of my favorites, the way they did that. I love that. Sopranos was so damn good, and then it took a hard left turn down. What the fuck were you thinking, you know? There's a lot of that that's still so good. but especially that ending. I get so mad at that shit, you know? The whole make your own ending. What was my favorite kill in Sons of Anarchy? Definitely the boss. That was badass. That was totally badass. And I don't want to put it out there in case someone, you know, wants to watch it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The boss who Tig accidentally killed the guy's daughter, and then the guy wanted Tig to suffer and then Tig to die. And the way they set that all up, oh man, that was just epic. That was just epic. One of my other all-time favorite shows, if you like Sons of Anarchy, it's called The Shield. The guy who created Sons of Anarchy, he's one of the major bad guys in it for 1 or 2 seasons, but he's also one of the writers on the show. I love The Shield. Wait, you don't start with season 1? Oh, that's right. I heard American Horror Story was different. It's not the same show for every season. My girl kind of upset because I'm watching you instead of me and her watching Narcos right now. Well, tell her you're about to go watch Narcos because I'm about to go watch Narcos. I'm going to make a little snack, put Juliet to bed, and then I'm going to go watch Narcos. So, massive thank you to everyone who came out. All 8 of you for letting me waste your time. And again, as always, since we are on the Patreon platform, or, you know, we are from the Patreon page, you know what I'm saying? Massive thank you. I don't even want to think where the channel would be, even without that little bit of help. Yeah, Kurt Sutter. Without the Patreon help, things would be dire. I mean, it would be dire. And like I said, the Patreon is pulling in more than the patrons. I think it's at like $450 a month, and that is crushing what I make on YouTube right now. So without the Patreon, Make a Path Presents would be, I would have to put it on hold for a few months, I'll be honest with you. If I didn't have Patreon, I would not be uploading anything to Matt for a couple months. I'd probably take 3 months off and then, you know, work overtime, hustle, get up some money, and then restructure some things and slowly get back into Matt. So, yeah, I'd probably take a break all the way up until The Walking Dead return, to be honest. I want another 4.5-hour live stream, laugh out loud. We'll have to do one of those on a public. We did a good solid 2 hours right now. Almost. Well, not really, because it took 15 minutes for people to get here. We got an hour and a half on this one, but we need 100 people in here to last it for a good 4 hours. I was sore after that. I didn't, man, just sitting down, my ass was hurting. It was like, what? I do like these Patreon chats, very personal. Thanks, Ronnie. I like them too. Like I said, if we can get a good 20 people in here, I think 20 is like the sweet spot. Between 20 and 30, maybe even 40, because not everyone comments. Between 20 and 40, I think that's the sweet spot for comments coming in, you know, because then there's just enough people to where I can answer all the comments, and there's just enough people to where some people are even talking to each other. So, but yeah, and I'm also going to try my best in a few months. Once we start getting set up, I'm really going to try to get something situated to where I can do like send out an award. And I don't know how I'm doing that yet. But here's the thing, is I'd like to send out something, but I don't know if it's something we can do every month. So it might be like every 3 months I'm going to send you a signed, like I got, you know, one of these, for example, like every 3 months, like this kind of tier, we're going to send out like a print or something, I don't know, signed. Yeah, so I'm going to figure that out, but some of you would have to want to put your information down below. So I'm going to go now. If you guys have any suggestions, hit up that Patreon and let me know any and all suggestions, because I really do want to start piecing some stuff together and restructuring, since we now know YouTube it's not going to get any better. So I'm going to do some serious restructuring. All right. You are worth every cent I put forward. Say that again. Haha. That Patreon. Good night to both of you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate all the support on Patreon. Go have a good night. And everyone out there, go watch The Shield, Sons of Anarchy. Those are 2 badass shows. And the Black Mirror, that was another good one on Netflix. And Narcos, they got a brand new season tonight. If you didn't watch it at all, you can binge watch season 1, 2, and then start season 3 tonight. So, wait a minute, the whole season is up right now. Oh, man, I might watch 2 episodes. Alright, thanks for the support, guys. I'll see you here probably in a couple days, because we got our tier 5 live stream coming. And there's more. 40 people usually join that one. So see you guys in the tier 5 live stream next week. It's probably going to be like a Thursday. So